Right, so this is our first interview that we have as part of KNX4U. I'm very happy that the KNX National Group Spain did not wait any second and said like, yes, we'd like to be the first featured KNX National Group here as part of KNX4U. It's a new channel, it's a new activity that we've planned here, and therefore I'm definitely happy to not just have anyone. I would say I have here with me Mr. KNX in Spain. My interview partner for today is Mr. Antonio Moreno, President of KNX Spain. Hi, Antonio.
Hi, Christian. How are you?
Great. So, perfect. Then I would say, like, since everything is set here, you're here via, webcam in this webinar and, in this interview. And this is like how we're going to proceed. Of course, if there wouldn't be the COVID situation, about which we're also then going to talk later about, then we most likely would have had the interview face-to-face. But unfortunately, we have to take what we have. Right, so then I would say without further ado, let's move on to the first question. And I guess that many people are wondering about the concept of a KNX National Group. Well, it happens that you are the first featured KNX National Group. So just for the viewers here and for the listeners here on this YouTube channel or on any other channel that you're using, could you just explain in some words what a KNX National Group is? What does a KNX National Group do?
Well, KNX National Group in Spain is the same as every other one. I mean, one KNX National Group is more or less the subsidiary of the KNX Association in one country. Our function is mainly marketing. So we are here just to, or mainly to widespread the message of KNX in our territory. That means we make a lot of promotion for the system itself, for the standard, and also we are a little bit the place where people interested in KNX can ask their questions, and they say, well, okay, I mean, the KNX community is quite big. It's not only manufacturers or system integrators. We have also training centers. There is also, architects or engineers. So, there are many people interested in KNX, more than we think. And the national group has a very, very important role in this environment because it's the first place where people can find information about KNX in one country. Then we have many other things, like we organize activities also for KNX training centers or even for system integrators. And we propose things to the KNX Association to adapt the way it works more to our country, to the respective country, but also to have new initiatives. We also propose initiatives to the KNX Association to do new things and things which are normally demanded in the market.
Okay, good. But what would you say then are the main activities? Are you standing like on like town squares and shout a lot about KNX? Or how do you bring the message to, let's say, all the people that you've mentioned before?
Well, our main activity, as I said, is promotion of the standard itself. And for that, well, now, of course, we are in a very strange situation because we cannot do anything which is not digital. But normally, when this situation will be over, then our activities are normally we have presence in trade shows, in fairs. So we have normally a stand in the main fairs in Spain. In this case, we also organize meetings and events for the KNX people in our country, not only for the KNX people itself, but also for the people involved with KNX, coming from the world of the building, construction, engineering, and all this. This is also a very important thing. And also in the digital world, we care about the social networks, the website, etc. these are our main activities. I mean, as I said before, is everything focused in the marketing and the promotion of the standard in the country.
Okay, good. I think that makes pretty clear like what you're doing like as a KNX National Group. As announced before, it's just like you are the president of this whole thing. What does that mean? What does the president do of the KNX National Group?
Well, I'm the president. We have also a secretary, Mr. Sartor, which is more the executive one. I mean, we are organized in such a way. I'm the president, but we have like a chief board, an executive board, with 10 or 12 members, more or less, and the decisions are taken there. And then there is the General Assembly. This is our structure from the command point of view. Let's say, then we have a secretary, which is more or less full time working for us, who is the one who cares about the KNX Association or KNX Spain in this case every day. I mean, he deals with the organization of every event. He answers at the first stage the questions coming from the market. He organizes the meetings. He deals with the members. Now in Spain, we are almost, I think, 85 members, more or less. I think it's 84. And today we had 2 new inquiries to be a member of the KNX Spain. So now we might be around 85. Amongst them, there are manufacturers, training centers, a lot of system integrators, electricians, installers, some engineering. I mean, it's a very wide community in the KNX in Spain. And my function as a president is to be there, then in the middle. Is to do what I'm doing now. I mean, to represent the association in different forums, to care about all this, and to take the main decisions, always consulting with my executive board, and also when it's needed to the General Assembly.
Okay, good. So that actually makes it pretty clear. I think what we've seen now is that KNX Spain is not only you pretty much running around shouting that KNX is great, but like there's like actually quite a big association behind you promoting the market in Spain that shows like that Spain is also quite a big market for KNX, one could say, right? Good. We've learned that you've been the president, but it was actually, let's say, quite a long way for you to get there, I would say, because like when you consider like your background, I asked you for some information, which of course I don't want to withhold back or hold back from like the viewers here. Your first, let's say, professional steps were of course in the like electric sector, but it wasn't really like with KNX, it wasn't really like with low voltage or semiconductors, it was actually here, I have written down here, with paper. So how come that you actually came from the world of paper to the world of KNX?
You mean paper?
Yeah, paper. So,
well, I don't know this information that you have. Well, actually, I didn't start. I never worked with paper. I was working at the very beginning with switches and conventional material.
okay.
The manufacturer I'm working for, it's a manufacturer mainly from switches, sockets, and electrical and wiring devices. And that's the field where I started my career in this world. But 2-3 years after, I was involved already with the technology. At this time, we didn't talk about KNX. It was EIB, European Installation Bus at the moment. I'm talking about year 1998 or year 2000, more or less, in this scope of years. And well, in this, as you can imagine, in these times, KNX or EIB technology was not very well known at all in Spain. I mean, no one knew about anything about EIB technology. So that was a very tough beginning, because the KNX or the EIB community in these times was very, very, very small here in Spain. So I've I've been progressing, professionally speaking. I've been progressing together with the technology of KNX here in Spain. I've been living with the change from that was in 2000 more or less. They changed from the EAB idea to the KNX, the conversions process and all this. I mean, during my professional life has been very close, always very close and very parallel to the KNX development here in Spain. I'm very proud of it. I mean, that's why I'm now the president of KNX Spain, but it is not my first time. My first time was already in 1998 or 1999, more or less. I started to be the president of the EAB Spain at this moment, which existed like that. Then I had a second time already in KNX Spain. It was maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago when I started. And now it's my third time. I mean, I'm very old in this activity, you know. But it has always been a very good experience because uh, I can say, and this is not. I'm not saying that because I have to say or I must say it. I say it because it's true. The community of KNX here in Spain, and particularly in the KNX National Group in the KNX Spain, it's like a very friendly environment. I mean, in the executive board, we are all more or less all competitors between us in the reality in the market, let's say. But inside this group, the role on the yeah, let's say the attitude is always cooperation. I mean, that's the first and the only one thing we see. And I think this mentality has been very positive for the development of KNX in Spain because our mentality here has always been there. I mean, the same. We want to make the market bigger for KNX. That's our main aim here in the KNX Spain. Then, when the market is bigger, then we are all competitors. Then we always be having a greater part of the pie. You know, if you have a small pie, you don't have anything for anyone. But if you make this pie be greater and greater, then the pie will be bigger for everyone, and then we will go to the market, and each of us, we are going to do what we can do, but in a very in a very growth market, and that has been the way of thinking the KNX Spain since many years. And I think that this way of thinking was very positive for the market in Spain, not only for the KNX National Group, also for the KNX National Group, of course, because we have a very good cooperation feeling, a very good feeling between the members. But not only for that, but also for the market itself, because people watching this film from the outside, what they see is a community which is like very well compensated, and like I mean, we get on very well, and we transmit this to the market, and that makes people confident in the technology also.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 points actually that I also like to always highlight as part of what we're doing, because like many people do not really see the concept that we have with our KNX national groups when we, for example, put like competitors in a room and say like, right now you need to be friends all of a sudden. People think like they're going to kill one another, but like I like your example, and this is also the example that I like to bring out, is like the cake, because like right now, or like in the beginning, many people are just looking like a little like a small cupcake, and what we are actually making is like a big cake, and like of course fight about the biggest piece of the cake, but eventually everybody will have a bigger part of the cake. So yes, and that actually comes then down to also the other thing that you mentioned, the KNX community. People that are with KNX, of course, and see our communication that we have ongoing, also see that we have a big focus on our community, because I don't think that, maybe you can correct me here, I don't think that like there is anything in the like in the electric world, like such a community that we have here within KNX. Of course, we have like people, we've got fans that love like this brand, or we've got like this brand, but like really a community that we have here. You can also see that on social media, Facebook, and you leading, like, let's say the leading community for KNX in Spain. It's like something that only we have, right? Or would you say like this is something that is to be found somewhere else?
Well, a very important aspect is the KNX community also in our country. The KNX community today in Spain is more manufacturers, installers, system integrators. Those are people, and training centers, of course. Those are the main players in the KNX community in Spain, which is good because we are covering the professional aspect very well. But now our aim, our objective, our proposal is to get or to reach the market which is outside. I mean, the end user. And by end user, we can understand the owner of one house, but we can also understand by end user an immobilian company, for example, a building company, someone which is using the technology, the KNX technology, also for professionals or for business purposes. We can say more or less the idea of the B2B, the business to business. And we are in this. Now, in the last years, our activities has been focused on that. I mean, we have been organizing events where not only people from the KNX world are coming, but also people from outside, let's say architects, engineers, owners of building companies, and all this. I mean, this is the community that we want to reach now. In other words, we want to make the KNX community in Spain bigger.
Okay. Do you think that the COVID situation, because you mentioned before that, yeah, nowadays we have to organize all our events online and so on. Do you think that this actually helped? Because now you had like the opportunity to really go into the people's houses, you know, to organize those events, because all had to be digital, all had to be online. Do you think that this maybe like helped you in order to reach this new target group?
Well, this is true that there are some people, for example, in the last event we organized, it was a virtual event, it was online, and it was organized for the retail. I mean, for the people building shops or renewing shops, and for the people from the shops themselves. And it was a significant aspect, which was the following. Normally, in our events, we are calling them the Smart Technology Forum, and we already did the third one, then not the fourth one. The three first ones were presential. I mean, where they were before the COVID situation. And we normally have 2 days. We have one day which is more focused on the KNX community itself, system integrators for manufacturers and so on. And then one second day we have thematics and things which are more focused to the end user or to the people outside our group of let's say community. Normally, if we had, for example, 100 people the first day with the KNX community, we used to have 30 people or 20 people, I don't know, maybe 40 the second day, which was the day dedicated to the market in general. That was in the presential events. Now the last one that we did, it was in January, so it was online event. It was a little bit the way around. I mean, the first day, the day of the community, KNX community, we had like 70 people more or less, which was not bad. But the second day, which was the day for the community outside, I mean, for the end user, in this case, were the retail, people in the retail, we had 80 or 90 people. So we had more people the second day, which was focused to the non-KNX community people, than the first day. And I think that's the positive side of the of making uh, digital events. People, they don't have to displace themselves. They don't have to go to travel from one place to the other. They don't have to spend the whole morning or the whole day with us. Then it is much easier that they connect themselves to a speech or something that lasts for 1 hour or 2 hours or something, because they only spend these 2 hours on that. So in this context, it is much easier to get to people who are not involved directly in the KNX community. But of course, on the other hand, you lose the personal contact. And that's why many people inside the KNX community want to come to these events, not to learn anything new, but to to have the chance to talk to other manufacturers or to other system integrators and so on. I mean, you have like both situations. It's positive on the one hand and negative on the other hand. I
Yeah,
think that
right.
the future will be more or less to combine both things.
Yeah, of course. Like one of the sayings that I've learned is like wherever you have sunshine, you of course like have shadow. I think like many of us have experienced now more shadow here during this COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, yeah, we can like always go through change, and like we always learn to make our new, yeah, we learn new habits. We learn how to approach like those situations better, don't we? Right. So I think that we've had like a very good like talk about this. It shows really like that Spain has like a great potential. Of course, you've been there from quite the very beginning. I don't know where the information about paper came from, but like that was like written here. But so we see that you pretty much have always been, let's say, in the world of KNX. So I guess that you've seen like pretty much from the beginnings till where you are now. Therefore, like maybe in order to conclude also this interview, and maybe one of the most important questions. So we've learned that you've been the president multiple times. You've seen the world change. You experience now also one of the biggest changes that the world has to go through with the pandemic that we currently have here. What is your take? What is your word, your advice to people when they are facing changes? Do you have any words of encouragement?
Well, changes are always opportunities. I mean, if when you have this is a very big crisis. I mean, because it's not only a sanitary crisis, it's also economic and all these things. But it's not the first crisis we had. I mean, uh, along my career, I have been through many crises. The financial crisis from the 2008-9, it was really horrible. But in every crisis, there are opportunities, and we have to learn from the opportunities. I mean, and we have to change, of course. We need to change because the world around us is changing all the time. So we have to adapt ourselves to the changes in the world. Otherwise, we are lost. Because if we want to say no, I don't want to change. I want to do the same I've been doing the last 20 years, then you are completely lost, because maybe you will not fall in this crisis, but you will fall in the next one, which will come also. No?
What is going to be the first thing that you're going to do when this crisis is done?
Nothing,
Nothing?
because this crisis is, I mean, it will not be through from one day to the other. It will not finish from one day to the other. I mean, when the healthy situation will be stable because everything is vaccinated and that, then we will come to the economical side of the crisis, and then we will come to the social part of the crisis. So uh, we will be living in this situation more or less during the years, maybe, because
Okay.
nothing will be like before. So for me, there is nothing to do after the crisis. We have to be doing. We need to be progressing every day and every month. That's it. There's
Okay.
no other recept.
Then let's say, what is like the thing that you're looking forward to? Maybe talking like from the KNX point of view.
Well, one of the things that I want to do in my professional and my private life also is to have the opportunity of traveling again, going to see people directly. This is a chance. I mean, one thing I would like to do when this crisis is over is organize some event also for the KNX community, and to be able to see personally many people which are cooperating with me or with my environment since years, and I haven't seen them in the last 1 year and a half or more. Uh, I think to recover these personal relationships that we have totally or well lost in these times with the COVID-19. So I think that's what I want to do, not only by the professional side, but also by the private side. In the KNX, it's more or less the same.
Okay, that sounds very nice. Yeah, of course. I think that we are all looking forward to like seeing one another face to face. And maybe just like, yeah, share a story, or just like to be able to do a proper handshake. This is something that I think that we've been all deprived of. Right, so I see that our time is over. I would like to thank you very much again for the time that you took, for all the questions that you answered. I definitely think that not only we do now know more about the market in Spain, but we also have like a better insight into like what KNX national groups are doing, and also like how the community part is also shaping the technology. So we're not only like ones and zeros, we're not only switches and actuators, but we're also like a group of people behind this technology. Right, then I would say thank you very much again for everything. Have a great day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon. Also, thank you very much to everybody who watched this interview. Questions are possible to be asked in the comments box, and we will have a look at every comment and every question when possible. Great, thank you very much to everybody, and see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.